it is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry. You can face each other as sworn enemies or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing, and soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
Think of that.
Is this why you was asking me, does gory things make you feel sick? First of all, I just want to say, like, the quality is insane these days.
Dude, it's gone from that
to
that.
It's insane. So to me, when I look at that, I can imagine it's the goriness and to the extent of what you're seeing happen that people are obviously getting at. Am I right?
Yeah, I saw a couple of people that were like, this is too much. This is too much violence now. What do you think?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Really?
I can understand that. But I think if we're going to look at technology and how things have progressed in the world, the game's always been like that, but it's just never been as good quality or as in detail because you've always been playing it on something with lower quality. So you're never really going to see that much.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably tell we're Mortal Kombat fans because the arcade's in the back there. But me personally, I've grown up playing Mortal Kombat and I've always known that this is the 12th Mortal Kombat game in the storyline now, but they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1 because they've like reset the timeline. But there's been like, I think 15 Mortal Kombat games in total. And every time a new one comes out, we all know that this is going to be much more violent than the last time. They kind of have to up it, right? When the PS3 came out and they released Mortal Kombat 9, it was more violent than the last one. With a game where its identity is built on violence, do you think it makes sense to not continue to push it?
I don't know the answer to your question. However, what I do want to say is that's an advert. So I can imagine when you're playing the game, it's not going to be as intense as that, or you're not going to see it as clear as that because you're not fighting in close-up angles like that. You're kind of fighting from one angle.
Well, from what I've heard, that's what the game actually looks like.
The game will look like that, but do you get my point?
I get your point. Yeah,
you're not going close up to somebody's head. Well, I don't know. I haven't played it, but I imagine you're not going that close up to somebody's head when you're like beating them up, but maybe it might. I don't know.
I think they're obviously like, when I was on Twitter, like it's not a lot of people, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Obviously, everyone's seen it and they're like, for context, the 3 biggest fighting games in the world are Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken. And the Street Fighter launched of the first trailer ever came out 11 months ago for Street Fighter 6 got 1.6 million views, right? Mortal Kombat came out 5 days ago, the trailer. It's got 4.7 million views. So it's blown up. It's very popular. So the response has been very positive to that trailer. there's just been a couple people here and there online that have been saying this is too much. This is too much violence. They need to scale it back. And I just wanted you to see it, as a fellow Mortal Kombat fan, just to get your take on it. Because when I showed it to my mum, she was disgusted. She was horrified at what she was seeing.
Yeah, because we've never really had anything like that before, or that brutal. And I know a lot of people have this idea that games cause people to act out of line in person, but
do you think that?
I think games can make people more violent in the sense of, when you play games and you lose, you get angry and frustrated. Some people do, not everyone. And I think it can come with that anger and frustration of just losing, not so much what you're doing on screen.
Yeah, I mean, gamer rage is definitely a thing. I've experienced it. I've like been playing Tekken. So Tekken's got a ranking system, and I'm trying to get to Tekken God Prime, right? I'm 2 ranks away. I'm Tekken King.
I've never played Tekken before in my life.
Well, when Tekken 8 comes out, I'm gonna bring it around. Your brother will probably have it. But so I'm trying to get to this rank. Tekken's very difficult, very, very difficult fighting game, and I'm trying to get to this rank. And I was 1 win away, and I came across this guy, and he was a sore loser. So when I beat him, he turned the console off, so the match cancelled. And in Tekken, there's not a penalty for people that do that shit. So the match didn't exist basically. The next guy I fought ended up beating the shit out of me and took all my points. So if that prick, and if you're out there, I'm the Feng Wei player, the Marduk player that you quit and you cost me my rank. He quit, and then I came across this Heihachi player, and me and him were going back and forth, and he would win one, I would win one. So my points are going up and down. I just had to win one more than him, and I'd become Tekken God. And I couldn't do it. And it got to the point where he started besting me, and I lost my rank. I ranked down. I fucking lost my temper.
Yeah.
Didn't break anything in my room because I don't want to break any of my expensive shit, but the anger was bubbling in me. Like, I was furious. Now, I'm a pretty calm person, so I have the wherewithal to bring myself down and be like, okay, we don't actually want to kill anyone. It's okay. I just got in bed and put on another game, something that I can relax to. But other people, I can see them 100% in that situation, just,
100%. But it's also, I don't know if this is going off topic. I don't know if you can compare the two. But if you look at sports, for example, football in the UK is really big. And a lot of men let football dictate their mood big time. Like, I'm talking, if their football team loses, they are raging angry. And I've gone to many of football games where grown men are physically fighting outside because of the teams. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Football essentially is just a game. And
have you seen Football Factory and?
Yeah, I have.
All those football movies.
Yeah, like Green Street and stuff. Yeah, and
Green
it's
Street
like,
is a brilliant film.
Yeah, but it's like that sort of thing. It's a game, but it gets you angry. It just takes over because it's, you know what I mean?
I think that when people are competitive, they get angry, right? When they lose. When you care about something you're passionate about, you get angry. Some people don't deal with that anger the way they should, and they let it manifest in really ugly ways. And some people, like, they humble themselves and they're like, okay, better luck next time or whatever. I don't think that.
Is that you?
Yeah, no, I do. So I've obviously grown up with Ricardo. Sorry that I'm name dropping you, bro, but I'm gonna tell some stories. And because me and him would grow up playing fighting games, for context, for you guys that are watching, Ricardo's like, he's basically my brother. We grew up together. He's like my best friend, and he's much bigger than me. He's much stronger than me. He's physically bigger than me, and I would beat him at most fighting games, and I felt like my life was on the line every time I beat him. There was one time we were sitting in his room playing Street Fighter 4, and I said to him, I'm sick of this game, I don't want to play it anymore. But I was winning, so I was saying to him, I'm sick of this game, I don't want to play it anymore. Now imagine losing to someone.
I'm sick of winning.
Yeah, I'm basically, that's what it was. And I said to him, I'll give you one more set. And a set is like we were playing a set of games, right, 1st to 5. Now he did bring it down to the wire. But I did something really crazy towards the end of the match, like really wacky, and it completely caught him off guard. This guy lost his temper, and I remember we were sitting in there with another guy, and we both stood up, and Ricardo launched the controller across the room, and he turned around to me, and I don't remember what he said word for word. I just knew that I might be in danger. You've seen the size of Ricardo's biceps, right? If you put me in a headlock, he could have killed me. There was another time we were playing SmackDown versus Raw, right, a wrestling game. And me and my friend Serjan were winning all the time. We won every single match. And I was bantering with him. I never got physical. It comes to another match, and it's me and Serjan versus me and my boy Fraser. And me and Fraser lose this time. So Ricardo gets up and he starts thrusting in my face. Now I'm sitting, I'm at dick height, right? Because I'm sitting down. He comes over to me and starts thrusting in my face. Obviously, I'm not a dickhead, right? I know that he could probably murder me, but I was like, this isn't gonna run. So I pushed his stomach. He grabbed my hand and we got into a full-blown fight.
No.
All of my anime posters around my room were completely torn down.
No.
And then this motherfucker,
Ricardo.
this guy had the nerve to then get angry at me. He was trying to fix my anime poster, right? He must have felt bad or whatever. Somewhere in his hatred, he found it in himself to try and fix the stuff that he'd broken.
When he calmed down, reality hit.
Semi-calmed down, because I said something, and he dashed in. He was like, "Do you want to go again? Do you want to go?" I was like, "This guy's crazy." As we've gotten older now, he doesn't. I think he realizes his own strength, and like, I've seen him pop off before other people, so I don't really want to be on the receiving end of that. So I'm not saying that Ricardo's the poster child of gamer rage.
You literally just painted the whole picture about him, but you know.
But I do think when people, because he's a passionate guy as well, you know. Like my sister-in-law, when I play Smash Bros with her, she knows that she can't beat me. I'm sorry, Ellie, you know you can't beat me. And we play it, and she gets mad, especially if I pick on her. So Smash Bros is like, have you played Smash?
Yeah. I play Smash Bros. Yeah.
And there's loads of people fighting, but I will specifically go for her just to like get rid of her really quickly, and she will hate me for it every time.
But you know what it is? It's just sometimes, even if you're not playing against someone else, with games, there comes that level of frustration when you can't complete something anyway. Like, I'm digressing, but you know I love to digress. Do you remember when that big trend happened and that game Flappy Bird came out?
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
eventually they banned it, but everyone was playing it. Everyone was getting so frustrated when you'd lose, do you know what I mean? And you'd go all the way back to the beginning. And it's like, it's just the frustration of not being able to do something, I think.
Yeah, but that's games make you hyper competitive. The same with sports. Like when your team loses or when you lose at something, you get angry. Some people don't deal with it in the best ways. Some people do. I tend to like throw insults. Like I don't ever get physical with people, especially because I was on the receiving end of Ricardo's abuse. So I didn't ever want to put that abuse on somebody else that wasn't as strong as me. But yeah, it's a thing. The thing that I don't like that people do is they see something like Mortal Kombat that is super violent, and they're like, people are going to go and copy that shit. I'm just like, if you have that mentality, you can't really release anything these days. You can't release, I don't know, another Equalizer film, even the Avengers, anime. There was some kid that watched Naruto, and then he apparently replicated what he saw in the show. So there's a character in the show called Gaara who controls sand, and he put his friend in the sand pit and buried him and killed him.
Oh.
I don't know how true that story is. I don't. Like, if it's not true, then you can blow me up for it. But I'm pretty sure that was the story, and it was connected to Naruto. There was even a someone that murdered somebody, and they based the murder off a game called Twisted Metal. You can. It happened with Batman. Do you remember when that guy went into the theater and he started shooting the place up?
Yeah.
It can happen with anything. I don't think it's fair to take Mortal Kombat just because it is the most violent, or one of the most violent video games, and say, oh, you can't put this stuff out there because people are going to copy it. Crazy people will find something to copy. If it's not Mortal Kombat, it'll be the Avengers. If it's not the Avengers, it's some music video where they've seen someone doing something and they're like, let me go replicate that.
There's just a lot of negative stuff being put out there, and we live in a world where it will probably happen with or without this influence anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted you to see that Mortal Kombat trailer. I ended up throwing my friend under the bus. He's probably going to kill me when he comes back.
When you was like, this has been sparking a lot of controversy, I was watching it, I was like, what could it possibly be? Then it got towards the end and all the skulls getting kicked and stuff. I was like, okay.
Did you not know what it was until the skull started blowing up?
No, I knew what it was. But I didn't know what the controversial part was going to be.
Yeah, it's not been massive controversy. It's not like a massive thing going on. It might be. Mortal Kombat does stir up controversy. Mortal Kombat's the reason that video games have an ESRB rating, or ERSB. It's basically the rating that they put on games. That came about because of Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So back in the 90s,
I think that should be a thing anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Makes sense.
I don't think, even though I grew up playing Mortal Kombat as a kid, and I think you probably played it when you were young.
We played Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Street Fighter's fine. Yeah, it's done in a very light-hearted anime way. Tekken's mostly okay. You know, they just. I think the worst thing Tekken does is they have devils and the women all have big tits, but that's like most Japanese games in general, it's not a big deal. But Mortal Kombat, I don't know if I'd give it to like your nephews to play. I don't.
My nephew, the other day, I was walking with him in the park and we were talking about like Street Fighter or something. And then he come out and said something to me about Chun-Li's got like the biggest arse or something. But like in the game world, like she's got the fattest bum or something like that. And I'm like, what are you watching? He's 6. What are you watching to be telling me that Chun-Li's got a tank, basically? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think they put Chun-Li in Fortnite, so a lot of kids got exposed.
I think, yeah, it was from Fortnite. You're right.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, look, man.
Whatever YouTubers he's watching, though, is sitting there talking about her ass, and now he's repeating it.
Have you seen Chun-Li?
Not since old school Street Fighter days on the old school... What did we used to play it on? Not a Nintendo 64.
Sega, the N64, PlayStation.
I think it was just normal. We used to play it on the one, do you know, it was like a grey controller and it had like the coloured buttons here.
Yes, a Nintendo. That's a Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo we used to play it on.
That's Chun-Li.
Oh, Chun-Li grew up.
Yeah.
Wow. Her quads are insane.
They are crazy. I've seen some girls cosplay. Yeah, like this girl cosplays her.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. That's in the game.
That's every girl's like dream. Well, not every girl. A lot of girls' dream bodies these days.
Yeah, I mean.
That's insane.
Hey, if you look like Chun-Li, hit me up.